I was just scrolling on X and I was about to click on something, and then I immediately looked over into the trending tab part of the site, and I saw Lake Lanier trending, and I said, oh God, what fool, because at this point that's all you can be, done went to that lake and perished now. And it led me to the first thing I saw was this, which you see on your screen, from a page called Everything Georgia. So you know, a lot of states or cities sometimes might have state ran pages where they talk about stuff that happens in that particular state. And of course, we all know Lake Lanier is in the state of Georgia. And I read this caption. It says, breaking: a man who went fishing with his wife on Lake Lanier drowned. Investigators say Matthew Mayo of Gainesville tried to sit in a seat on the bass boat. It became unbolted from the bottom, causing him to fall into the water. Mayo, age 73, did not resurface. Now, this is not the boat right here that it happened in, but this is just a picture of what that type of boat would look like. Of course, many of us have probably seen those type of boats before. Those are typically, like they said, used for fishing. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, it unbolted from the bottom? That already sounds like a freak accident. We keep telling people about going to this damn lake. I don't know why people try to continue to play around with that lake. I don't know why they do it, but people continue to do so. Now, that's just right there. Now, I'm going to actually read a small piece from the article that I posted up, that I found. It doesn't go into too much detail, even though this happened on May 29th, and this is now 2 days later, because there's still not a lot of information. But this part right here stuck out to me. It said a short time later, game warders were able to use a boat-mounted sonar to locate Mayo's body in 6 feet of water. Hall County Fire was then able to use their ROV, or a remote operated vessel, to recover the body. The Hale County Sheriff's Office also responded to the incident. Now, again, this man fell into 6 feet of water. Let me just put that into that perspective, because it didn't say it right here. He fell into 6 feet of water. Now, let's really put this into perspective. He fell into 6 feet of water. Now, for those people who know how to swim, 6 feet of water wouldn't be that deep to you. Or if you are of a certain height, you could probably stand in 6 feet. This guy literally fell 6 feet into water, and he sank like an anchor to the floor. And usually, typically, when people drown, what will happen is they will float back up, and typically they'll be face downwards, like laying on their stomach. But he didn't float back up. They had to use a sonar device or some kind of device to, one, locate him, and two, to bring him back up. He was not sitting at the top of the water when they went and got him. He was still at the bottom of the ocean floor. It's almost as if something pulled him under. Now, keep in mind, remember, something happened with the boat. That was already a freak accident or freak of nature right there. But the fact that he fell and sank 6 feet, again, which would not be deep to a lot of people, who, especially if they know how to swim or are tall enough to stand in that, and he just stayed there and didn't float back up. And they had to use equipment to find and pull him back up. We keep warning people about this lake, but people want to still go out there and play around with it like the lake is playing with them. Y'all can have it if you want to. Now, this is coming from a person who likes the water, not the best swimmer, but I wouldn't take my risk with even putting my foot in the edge of the water over at that lake. I wouldn't even go to the beach part of Lake Lanier. That's how weary I am of that. But you have people out here like this man, unfortunately, who continues to go out there and still wants to play around with it like it's some game. We keep telling people over and over again, Lake Lanier is not the place to do it. There's so many other lakes and beaches that you can go to. Why do y'all choose to go to that one? It boggles my mind. It really does. But really put it in perspective, everything that I just said here. What happened to this man's boat? 6 feet of water. He sank to the bottom of the floor, never floated back up to the top, and they had to use equipment to find and pull him back up. Yeah, but you know what? We can talk about Lake Lanier until we're blue in the face, and unfortunately, there are going to be people still out there who are going to be gullible enough to still go there, as if this lake has not been talked about for many years, whether in televised news or internet-based news. But y'all can go ahead and have at it. I'm not I'm not even going to try to be a part of it. So on top of the story that on the part that y'all just heard, this actually happened literally a few days later within the same week of what just happened with that boat incident. And y'all keep saying that is not something going on down at that lake. It says multiple small earthquakes reported near Lake Lanier in the last week. Posted June 14, 2024. And it says several small earthquakes have been reported near Lake Lanier in Beaufort and Gwinnett County in the last week, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The first earthquake happened at 11:15 p.m. on June 6. It had a magnitude of 2.5 and was approximately 2.5 miles underground. The second earthquake struck just a few hours later at 1:30 a.m. June 7th. It was a 2.1 magnitude quake and was 5.3 miles down. And then it goes on to say, and y'all can't see it because it's off screen, it says a 2.3 magnitude quake hit the same area at 8:37 p.m. on June 9th. That earthquake, which was much closer to the surface, only 0.8 miles underground, and was reportedly felt by quite a few people. Then it says a fourth quake was reported around 3:20 a.m. on Thursday. It was measured at 2.2 magnitude, and it was about 5.5 miles underground. And it also says additionally a small quake was reported on June 3rd in northwest Georgia near Dalton. Experts say there are usually between 10 and 20 earthquakes above magnitude 2.0 each year, and so on and so forth. If that's not some wild stuff right there, I don't know what is. So you have a man who literally a few days before these quakes died because of a weird incident with his boat and him drowning the way that he did. Remember, usually when people drown, their bodies will float back up, and his did not come back up. They had to use special equipment to not only find him but bring him back up. And then you had several quakes that happened one behind the other in the same area within a week, or a little over a week after this man died the way that he did in that boat at that lake. We keep telling people to stay away from that lake, but they don't want to heed our warning. But we can't stop them. We can't tell what a grown person what to do. They're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. We keep telling people to stop going there, but they can insist on keep going there, and stuff and stories like this continue to happen. The crazy part about it is there are a lot of stories reported about incidents that go on down there at Lake Lanier that don't get reported. Or maybe they get reported, but they're like a blip on the radar, and it's like a blink and you'll miss it type of thing. So, yeah, that's very interesting. Very interesting to say the least.